to the Free Idea Podcast, my episode 99, German episode. 9999. 99. Here I am. Um, do I have news? Yes, I do. I'm just trying to fix my seat so I can be closer to a mic. Woo! Okay, so updates. I lost my streak for no video games and politic videos. I saw 1 minute of politics, like less than 1 minute, probably 10 seconds or something like that. So I was watching these YouTube videos with the catchy titles, and I pressed one, and I just fast forwarded so much. Where I just watched the first minute when they give you a summary, and then boom, I backed out. But I still counted it. I was curious to click on it. Yeah, I was trying to be sneaky. I'm like, well, maybe if I just watch 10 seconds, 1 minute, I'll still be okay with my streak. But I didn't feel right to still count it as a streak if I watch at least 1 minute, if I give in to the curiosity. So I'm like, nope, let's reset the streak. I made it to 19 videos, 19 days, I'm sorry. 19 days. And video games, that was fun. I play some games. I play Who's at the Door. It's like a memory horror game. You gotta memorize the room, and every day it changes. And you gotta not let them in if the room changed. But if it didn't, you let them in. And then I played another one that was so fun. Another, yet another zombie game, Survivors. So it was pretty fun. It's like Vampire Survivors, but with zombies. Mindless little game where you just level up forever. So that's that. And you know what? It was fun, and I might do it next weekend. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. It's okay to give some spices to life. But here's where I learned. It's so comically, I don't know if ironic, but not. It's just comically that I believe that watching the news and not watching the news just does nothing to my life to improve it, only to make it worse. And it's so funny to tell you that in 19 days that I was away from the internet, just by looking at these clickbaity titles, the following has happened. Another protest in the UK, uh, another terrorist attack in the UK, and least but not least, the government has shut down in the US. According to this title, it said the government shut down, what to do next or something like that. And I think I just clicked it for the first 10 seconds, and the dude was talking about how the government has shut down and how it may affect me or something. And see, this is the funny part. I lived my life day to day. I did not even get a hint that the government was shutting down. I don't even know what that means. That probably just means like Chick-fil-A when it stops working on Sunday. Nothing. I didn't see nobody running around in the world, no panicking, no scarcity of food anywhere, or people complaining that they lost their jobs. May have happened. I'm not sure what's going on, but where I'm at least not in my day-to-day average average person with a baby. Nothing. Nothing. Groceries were just as expensive as always. Houses just as expensive as always. I was looking at some houses. Mm, I don't know. I still got paid for the hours I worked, and I still have deadlines to meet. I still worry about normal worries of a caretaker. I mean, absolutely nothing. But it's funny. What I find really, really comical is that I said, I'm just gonna stop watching the news. What would I miss? What am I gonna miss of importance? Yeah, 19 days later, the government has shut down, and my life did not change a bit. Nothing. Maybe because I don't work in the government. Maybe if I did, but even then, I don't know. I don't know. So if it did change people's lives, I'm pretty sure, but mine, which is like the average Joe out there, nothing. And that's what I found comical. That I literally uh did not know about a mega crisis level threat, and my life just remained the same as the life of an ant. This is just me and my world. I keep on working hard from morning to dawn, and then some extra at night on my own chores and hobbies, and not a change. So that to me shows me how irrelevant the news are. And then there was, I think my wife told me there was like an outbreak in some ready to eat meals, meats or cheeses or something. They had to be recalled. And when I went to Sam's Club, I just noticed that there was a whole aisle of cheese was missing. Like four aisles were missing, just completely emptied out. And that's something I noticed beforehand. I didn't even mention it to my wife. I don't know. And then she just mentioned that she read in the news that that's what happened. And I just connected the dots. I'm like, oh, maybe they just, yeah, you're right. They found some bacteria. They recalled all of the cheeses. And that's it. My life, just as normal. I just looked at that aisle and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to get grapes and raspberries as a dessert. I'm not going to get cheeses. So I was thinking of making like chikurka board. See, that's how my life was affected by not watching news. I saw it with my eyes. Oh, stuff is missing. Let me buy the other thing then. That's it. You have to freak out about the world ending because there was bacteria in some food or prices rising. And I keep seeing those titles in the recommended, like housing crises and everything is going down in price for houses. Dude, I was house hunting yesterday. I'm gonna tell you this. All right, listen closely. These people be pricing their houses at a disrespectful price. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm not the only one feeling it. Disrespectful prices. What is that? Well, let me come in here. I'm not gonna get into a mortgage for 30 years for something around 240,000, right? 240,000 with the landlord special. Everything was painted over. All the outlets were painted over. All the switches, the door frame, the the plastic on the door that it's supposed to not let light in and bugs. They painted that over. It's a plastic, so the paint was peeling off because it's a bendable, flexible plastic, and the paint is hard. So when you squish it, guess what? It crumbles. And well, that whole thing was just crumbling away. There was wood on the baseboards rotting away like a hamster took a big bite. The windows and the corners were rotting away. The blinds were chewed up. Like the person who's selling the house, the disrespect, they're like, I don't even care. I'm just gonna sell it as is. People are gonna buy it with like my dog's bite marks. Like whatever. Like, I mean, do they be thankful they're getting a house and some blinds in it? There's scorpions all over and crickets. That's normal, but it wasn't like a bonus for me. Um, yeah, and the most disrespectful part is that these houses are literally leaning. They're like falling down after 30, 50 years of use, right? And they want $250,000 for it. When we know that historically, the people who bought it, they bought it for three handshakes and a pickle, and they didn't take care of it. They didn't do nothing to it. I mean, maybe painted, but like I tell you, the landlord special type of paint. Uh, and then they bought it for that cheap just to sell it to you for 250,000. The disrespect. That's what the disrespect is. To price it so high. Like they wouldn't even buy it. If they were in my shoes, they wouldn't even buy it. They'll be criticizing it just as much. If not more, actually. Boomers tend to be more criticizing people than we give thought. Um, Yeah, they probably want to be paid just to go look at it. Say, man, you just disrespected me. You gotta pay me for my time. I bet you they would say something like that. Anyway, so they just got it for dirt and they sell it for gold. This is the analogy. If you're somebody who has owned a car, all right. So I buy this car. I use it for 30 years, like Mike Weaver over there, the guy that's a billionaire. I use my car for 30 years. Not once do I change the oil. Nothing. Maybe I change one brake pad of the four wheels, just one. So it stops squeaking so damn loud and waking up my neighbors. Just squeaks right enough for me to handle it in traffic. Um, and then I buy it for like $2,000 when it was new, beautifully new, right? Nothing changed. Nothing. Maybe I just washed it by hand twice. And one of them was before selling it, and I have asked it, by the way. I left you some stains in the seat on purpose, just so you remember that I was there. And then then I sell it today for $30,000, just like that. Just sell it. See, that's how disrespectful houses and their prices are right now. Yeah, I'm 100%. I'm not the only one thinking that way. 100%. Yeah, I'm gonna hurt some feelings. People out there that if I sell their houses, but I don't know, sellers out there, but it is what it is. Get in my shoes, mister. Become a millennial over here, working your ass off for 30 years and being able to afford something that somebody didn't even want to take care of. They kind of just got for free. And they want to sell it to you for 30 years of your hard work plus another 30 of mortgage. Yeah, take my house. Here you go. Here you go. You want it, of course. Yeah, you do. You want it. You can have it. Nobody else is having it. So pay this. See the disrespect. I'm like, uh. There's like palaces in some places here that I could buy for that price, which I don't because there's no jobs in there. We no one does because there's just no jobs. So how can you pay for that palace once you buy it? But there's palaces. They exist. Everything is inflated. It is respectfully inflated. So waiting is no problem. Waiting to see the right house, a house that somebody actually respected and took the time to paint nicely and actually do repairs. These houses that they're selling, they're expecting you to do $30,000 worth of repairs. And they are. I'm not gonna say what type of repairs I'm talking about because I'm not pointing it out pretty hardcore, but damn, they literally. And the inspector is the one who finds out that stuff, not the owner. The owner didn't say a peep about it. Uh-uh. But the inspector found this issue that you would have to repair for so much money, and that's how they're selling it to you. That right there is the summary of what they're selling us. I got what I love to point it out, but I'm not gonna be like that. I feel like I've given enough hints. When I'm talking about something worse that I was describing with the other landlord special house. Mm, $30,000 worth of repairs before you even buy it. No, senor. No, no, no. No, no, no. I ain't that desperate, mister. I'll keep my overpriced apartment, even if I don't own it forever, but at least I'll live okay. I'll live okay. I don't need a house. I don't need a house. That's the key word right there. Need. Be nice. It'd be nice. Um, the next issue that I find in the US is that have you ever played one of those tower games or resource games where you have to build stuff, but each time you build something, you need more resources, like Fallout Vault. That one. That's the same issue I find here in the US. So the more you build in these video games, you build like a gym or even a science lab, or you build like a room just for your people to sleep and reproduce. You need to spend more electricity, more water, and more food. And the more rooms you build, the less you have of all that. Right? And then you get invaded, and they take some of those resources away. So you're struggling, and then some of those catch on fire, and you're like, oh my god. And then you have to close some of them down, and slowly but surely you gotta build your resources again, just so you can build another electric power plant or water pump, something just to keep your little cave working. All right, stay with me. That's what I mean. The more you build, the more resources it takes to take care of your citizens, and then the less there is, the more you gotta build again. More power plants, more water plants, all that stuff. Okay. So I feel like that's what's going on to the US. You gotta build, oh boy, where do I start? If you wanna build um, a home community where you can fit 30 people, but it's like the span of 5 football fields, but just 30 people live there because it's like, come on, single houses. How many people can live in one house? Just one. One and their dog. So you do that. Well, how much pipes do you need? A lot of pipes, a lot of copper to drive that all that water, PVCs, and then you need a lot of cables to run all the electricity. I think is what else you need. A lot of asphalt, a lot of it. I don't know what it is made out of, but it's made out of something that is not, infinite, and it's heavy. So you gotta build streets. So all that copper, all that rock, and and then you gotta drive the water, the what do you call it, like the pump energy of water, the strength that it comes from the tubes. You gotta drive that water from one place to there, and then divide it into 30 houses or 60, right? And then those 30 people, they gotta drive their 2 cars to the grocery store. So that's less parking right there, more parking they need. And then you need more grocery stores in between. That's why there's like an HEB every 10 minutes, and a gas station every four. So now you get what I'm getting at. The more you build, and that's just 30 people. That's just 30. And you require all that just to make all those people live in one place. So guess what? If US starts growing and growing and growing, and they're building more and more of those houses, well, how much more water is needed? How much more pressure of the water is being diverted? More traffic, more cars, more food distribution, less farms that we have. They gotta produce more. See, where I'm getting at is the same thing as those Fallout games, where more civilians you have, less resources you have to distribute, and so you gotta build more, and the cycle starts, right? Until stuff catches on fire and you gotta give up on some stuff. Now compare that to like a China, where you can fit one skyscraper with 100 rooms, and each room has a grandma living in there with a parent and the child, so like 30 people in one room. I'm joking, like five. So that's one skyscraper, and not everybody has car because it's expensive. So most of them have their legs and bicycles, and like the high middle, no, like the middle class has like a motorcycle or moped, and the high middle class has like I wouldn't even say high middle, just like high low class has the car, right? So how much piping do you need? How much copper? How much cables? How much this is? What I wonder. I feel like less, way less. More public transport, less traffic. That's surprisingly about it. When I was living over there in China, there was almost no traffic. And yet the population of that one city was like way higher than any city here in the US. Like your your little old run downtown, forgotten town over there was like 1 million people, had no traffic whatsoever. And then your big old New York, no traffic, like very little. It wouldn't be as congested as the year, that's for sure. Uh, Probably like I don't know, 100 million people in there. So I thought about some math. How about if your city where instead of counting money per capita, whatever that is, instead count how much copper per person is there per town. I bet you how much water per town and electricity. Go ahead and do that. How much copper, water, food, and electricity? And some of them is a little hard, but instead of food, because anybody can eat about dirt. So we can go by copper or electricity usage. I don't know, maybe copper. How much piping and cable do you need per family? Is what I would say per person. And do the math, and then just start comparing all the countries out there of how much you need per person, even square footage. Boy, is the US gonna skyrocket like all the way up there. You're gonna get there's like 3 tons of copper and PVC for one person, and then in China you probably get like 1,000 people for that same amount. And that's the real living standard right there. I don't know how much people can you fit with the least amount of resources, hard resources like concrete. You get it. Move on. I'm a bit curious just thinking about it. Just thinking about it, because there's something weird about the US. And you'll see it when you travel out of it. You'll see it. We fit so little people in such vast places. And other countries do it the reverse. They fit so much people in such little places. And that somehow leads to a interesting play style, I'll call it. To stick with the video game analogy. Interesting play style. I'm not sure if more healthy, but it's definitely nicer in some aspects. And others, the US is nicer. Yeah. I'm not gonna just bash the US. I'm gonna tell you this, over there in Europe, man, do they like to be shoulder to shoulder. Especially in grocery stores. They like to breathe on your neck over there. It's so damn small and tight, those aisles. And here they're pretty nice. So, you know, you know, it's kind of hard to have a car in those places. And you gotta take public transport, and then it rains and it snows, and you gotta, suffer it out up over there a bit. You gotta wait for the train. You gotta wait and wait and wait. It's a lot of waiting. And here you just, yeah, there's a lot of waiting between here and the mall. You gotta drive 30 minutes, but at least you're doing something. So, good and bad. Good and bad. You know, I'm just saying. All right, so I bashed houses, not as much as they deserve it. Uh, our structure over here, infrastructure. And I know there was one more thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah, then I talked about the no news. I'll tell my experience. It was very fun, very nice. That was real detox from social media. And I plan to continue it because it's really making me, as I would say, with the buzzwords of 2025, it's healing my mental health, right? That's what we call it, mental health. It's definitely healing. It's doing its thing. That's for sure. That dopamine thing, that thing is real. The the dumbest video game out there just sparks me. Like, woo! I haven't never played this game. What is this? 8-bit Mario? So good. Like a copy of, yeah, some random unknown game for $8. And it's so fun. Everything is so fun. And video games that I haven't played in a while, they just look fun. It just wow. So yeah, It's interesting. Try it out. It's like if you ever had a if you ever had an addiction with like beer or coffee or smoking, you know that it doesn't hit you when you do it for a long, long time, for many years. So then you quit for like a month or six. And then you take the first hit of whatever your addiction was. And it's like, whoa, I haven't felt this in a long time. Like this is why I started. You know what I mean? It doesn't even have to be an addiction, just something. Yeah, like I started doing that social media detox. Just music sounded different, more fun. And then I would some of my old what do you call it, hobbies started emerging. Like the passion for it started creeping up again. Because when I was little, there wasn't this much technology. We still had YouTube and computers, but they were in the fastest and they were in the most addicted with the recommendations. So one of my old habits was playing the piano for hobby. It was fun, and I found that fun. Now I don't. I find it boring. But man, after what was it, 19 days or 18 days of it, I'll start. There are a couple days I heard somebody like a song, just a song play, like commercial or something. I don't know what it was. I think it was a video game. Yeah, yeah, it was a video game. The intro music from that was at the door game order. It was a piano, and I just fell in love with the piano again. I was like, whoa, I should buy a piano. I should get into it again. Like, wow, just hearing those keys, I felt like it brought me back to sixth grade, and I started playing piano. And I just got an urge of going to Facebook Marketplace and get a piano. They're always giving pianos for free. Always. Some they're always just looking to it right now. They're literally always pianos for free because they're out of tune, so you gotta tune them. They're just taking so much space. Because everybody eventually, gives up. So after years, that was interesting. That was very, very cool. The fact that just detoxing from this dopamine rush made boring things become fun again. And I really looked at the world different. I started looking around and thinking, whoa, who else is out here detoxing and who is deep, deep into the funk right now? How are they viewing the world? It is very weird feeling because there's people, it's different lifestyle. You gotta try it. It's different. That's can explain it. It's a live world that we lived a long time ago when we were kids, but it's still here. It is still here, except you gotta force yourself out of the habit. And then once you force yourself out of the habit, you look around and think, who else is living in the moment right now? It's how I can summarize it, but it's hard to see. It's hard to see if they are or they're not. That's it. It's just hard. Well, you start noticing it. I don't know what to say or explain it, but just saying, try it out. And you don't have to talk like me, but we all have our own hurdles and challenges, and we know which ones those are. So you know which are your challenges that are specific to you. You know what the solution is. You're just postponing it. You always know. It's always in the back of your head. You know exactly what you should stop doing to start becoming a better person or having a better life in your own eyes, whatever that better life means. Well, you know that there's something in the back of your head. There's always something. It's always the same thing. If I stop doing blah blah blah, I would blah blah blah. whatever that is, you know what it is. Procrastinating. So just give it a push and try it. Try to stop doing things. As long as it's healthy. I'm not talking about like, yeah, in the back of your head is like, I should try. Maybe not. Maybe do listen to your voice that says don't do that. Chill out a bit. Use some brain in it, but exactly that. Hmm. Do some brain. Woo. Well, well, well. Now, how about I've run out of ideas. Those are pretty good. How about an airplane that sits on a train, right? Imagine a train, like an airplane on train tracks. That's fun. That would be like an Indiana Jones type of adventure junction. Is the head of an airplane, cut off the wings, and it just put that as a train. Yeah, those are my ideas right there. Train, a plane and a train. Just relying. What you think about it is really the same. The interior of an airplane is the same as the interior of a train. Tiny bit different, but it's like the same idea. It's like a bus. Anything that is meant to carry about 50 people starts looking the same. Just rows of seats and a long body that poked. Uh, yeah, I'm on episode 99. 99. The German episode. The no, no, no episode. We're almost there at 100. Woo! 100 episodes and many, many more to come. 1,999 more to the infinite and beyond. And I've been so busy with stuff. It's it's just hard. It's just I feel my brain tired. Can't think too many ideas out here. Well, you know what? Let's think about some horror games. Why haven't we made a horror game yet where the plants are chasing you, huh? Like we have horror games where your neighbor chases you, where a baby chases you. Uh Chucky, where little dolls open doors. We have games where Slender Man is out there, where like pizza mannequins, robotics are chasing you. Uh, Oof. Well, we don't have a single one where plants are chasing you. How about trees? How about a bush? How about a tulipan? Tulips. How about tulips chasing you, huh? Why don't we have horror games where the plants are chasing you? I know there's a movie that it's like that where the tree roots they're like tentacles and they come through the door of house and this there. That's a pretty good movie. I saw it when I was little, so yes, that was pretty good. Pretty good. Good enough amount of horror for a kid. Good amount of like, there's no way plants would do that. But also, do they do that? So yeah, let's video game makers out there, indie game makers, make a game where a tree is trying to hunt you down inside your house or inside a jungle. That'd be interesting. So you can play the same Weeping Angel strategy where if you look at the tree, if you don't look at it, it moves closer to you every time until you look at it and it stops. It's kind of crazy, your house could start growing plants all of a sudden. You gotta water them to keep them happy, but I don't know. It gets tricky over time. It's gotta be something. There's scary things about trees once in a while. There's that the headless hunter of Halloween, the headless horseman. There was a good movie there where the tree, it's like a burnt tree or something, and the tree has holes inside or faces inside, and they cut it down and it bleeds. and then the hunter comes out of that tree or something. That's some pretty cool things you could do on trees. Uh, I know you use cactuses to fight them because they're thorny. It's just because they're your allies. These cactuses versus plants. See, there's still creativity out there. Or how about a one of those games like I'm thinking like the zombie game, like the vampire survivor game, where you just kill a bunch of things and keep leveling up randomly. Except you're in a forest and you're poisoning animals. You're trying, just trying to do something different for video games. They're always the same. Uh, yeah, we don't often look at plants like enemies in video games or anything, except for Batman. He had poison ivy, and I think she controls plants. Hmm. And in the magical movies, there's always some magician. It's a tree magician. I don't know what you call those. Warlocks? I'm not sure. But yeah, isn't that interesting? Most of the time, we don't see plants like the enemy in movies. I wonder why. Is it something natural in us to see trees as friends, or we're just to not see them? So they're everywhere. Just kind of tune them out of our daily day to day life. No, we usually see them as the ally. Let's save the trees for the ozone, the oxygen, and medicine, and tea, and they cure cancer and all that stuff. Usually trees are friends. Oh, there's some people out there that see trees a little more friendly than others. But yeah, they're so friendly. They put a fire on them and then they just breathe all that stuff. Huh. See, I'm gonna keep this going, brother. I'm gonna keep it going till I get to my job. Because I'm still driving here in Austin and I'm not planning to stop ever. Because you know why? Because I still have a job. That's why. I still have a job. And I'm thankful for that. And I have a long commute. Long. I rarely ever start these videos, podcasts when I start my route. Rarely. If I did, boy, this podcast would be an hour. This one is like almost 40 minutes. Yo, 40 minutes of me talking. Can I talk? Yes, sir, I can talk. Woo! But when I get home, I don't talk. Say, when I'm with people, I'm so quiet. I'm sad. Huh? Nothing to say here. Absolutely nothing. Nothing just fine. I wonder what's going on. But oh boy, talk to myself. 40 minutes? Easy. Feels like five. You might say that that's, you know, we should make a horror game out of that. And dude that is all quiet in public, but he's on his own, just talking. Never stops. Never stops talking. That's your typical um, horror game out there. Okay, we're almost there. It says move over for emergency vehicles. It's the law. It's the law. It's a show me where it's the law. Show me. Have you ever thought about it? Where is the law? We always hear like, oh, there's a law right here that the cop said that you cannot go over this speed limit, right? Right? You cannot go over 45, so I'm gonna give you a multa. So, but have you ever wondered where is the law? Like, where do they keep it? Because it has to be written, right? They always say the law is written and the pen is mightier than the sword. So where is the law? Where is it? Like, where's the book? Where's the word? Where's the word that says that I must go 45? Think about it. Think about it. Where do they keep it? Where do they store it? Is there security around? Did they and just you know change that wording? What if I changed the wording? What if I did? And nobody would notice. What if I went, found the law, and I changed the 45 miles to 60 miles, right? And it doesn't go through a committee or anything, right? Nothing. And the cop stops me and says, "Sir, this is 45." And I go, "Sir, you're wrong. I found the law. It's hidden in the Capitol under the basement. Uh, Go look at it." And then he goes look at it because he's incredible at his job, going above and beyond. And he definitely doesn't have any other criminals to go chase down. So he goes there to the basement, opens the book, and boom, he sees 60 miles with a big old scratch on the 45, right? Just a big X. 60. And he goes, dang, he got me. He got me. Uh, how does the law work? And then I was also thinking, if the law says that it's 45, so see, this is where it's coming from. I was looking at the speed limit on some road. And according to the GPS, the speed limit was 45, right? Everybody's going 60 because it's next to the highway. Next is one of those roads that is next to the highway. Nobody ever is gonna go 45. If you look at your left and people are flying like you wouldn't go 45. That's like going on a like riding a dog when people are using horses. Like, why would you do that? You know, at least you'll get a donkey, but you wouldn't ride your dog. So I looked into it and I used ChatGPT and I was like, hey, what speed limit is this road? You know, Savior, I don't know, what do you call it? God, PT. It is a type of thinking mind, collective alien mind. So I asked this alien mind about it, and he goes and tells me, oh, it's 45, definitely, according to the law, right here. Here's the link, right? And I type the link, tap it. Well, guess what? It sends me to the actual law that states in one page that this road that is next to this other road, as of today or whatever, as of decree of the mayor, it is 45 miles an hour to whatever, and it keeps throwing fancy old words in there from like right long time ago. And I look when this law was written. I look, and it's 1954, and I'm not kidding. It's like give or take a couple 5 years up and down, but 1954, they made the road be 45. So you're telling me that what, 70 years we haven't changed the speed limit? So in 1954, what were they driving? I bet 45 in that year was like 120 miles right now. Like their cars could barely touch that or something. I don't know, I could be wrong. Some fanatic out there could tell me that. What's a 1950 car? When I'm thinking 1950, I'm gonna destroy you all car enthusiasts, but this is what I think. Horses. Horses pulling a cart. But I don't think that's what it is. I think 1950 is like one of those long rectangles with four wheels. But they're okay, those big old metal boxes. Um, I don't know what speed they could go back then. So I still tell you, I bet you like 45 miles back in the day was probably like 70 right now. Um, so I look at this law, and so you're telling me that for 70 years we're giving tickets to people, like we have spaceships. That's what we have compared to 1954. Spaceships. We got damn UFOs and drones. Drones that go faster than 45. These drones will get a ticket in that road. Like my little toy car would get a ticket. And we're still following that law. So Yeah, where do they keep it? How did ChatGPT found it, by the way? And what if I just go to that website, hack it, and then just change it from 45 to 50? And every year I just add like 1 mile above or five. Make it five, because in the US they never do like 46 or 47 miles. They do fives. Yeah, turbos. So what if I did that? Right? What if I did that? Like, not that I can. I really wouldn't even know where to begin. But that's my question. Like, where is this law written? And where is it being followed? Why is it being followed? Why is it kept at that speed? Um, we need to revamp this whole speeding thing. It's weird. There's some roads that are 30. It's like, come on. I could walk faster than this cars here. Um, if my grandma had wheels, it'd be going 45. So yeah, peculiar, interesting, food for thought, or thought for food. Thank you for listening to me rambling about the speed limits of America. This is what happens when you stay at your country for quite a while. You start criticizing it, but never leaving it. Yes, welcome to being a citizen of any country. You just complain about it, but never leave it. Thank you.